All right. Do you want to start letting them in,
Okay.
please?
I'm going to do admit all. Okay. Hello, hello. Put everyone on mute a minute. We've got them in. Hello. How do I unmute? Sorry. I'm trying to unmute. Right. Would you like to unmute yourselves?
We can hear you.
You can hear me, but I'd like
Yeah.
to hear
Yes.
you. I'd like you to respond to me and say
Oh,
hello
right. I didn't know you were talking to us. I thought you were
I
talking to the
didn't know
people that's
either.
coming in the room.
I
Yeah,
do
that's
apologize.
what I thought. I
That's
was
a
like,
great, that's a great
all right, so
start.
let's rewind.
Bang. I'm not going to get paid
Fun
now.
and frolics already, people. Fun and frolics already.
So if you'd
Go
like to
ahead.
unmute yourselves, please, ladies and gentlemen, that would be great. But maybe I'll give you a hand to do that. Come on.
Hello.
Oh,
Hi.
hello.
Hi.
It's not working.
No, no,
Right.
no. It's just the speakers. So just for security on Zoom, it's just the speakers that can unmute and talk to you at the minute. But
Right.
when we
So I
have
can't,
question
I
and
won't be able
answer,
to hear them for this moment. No?
that's correct. They can
Oh,
type in the chat.
okay. Right.
They can type in the chat.
I wanted to hear your lovely voices, but unfortunately I can't. But never mind. Hello, everyone.
Later.
Just wave. At least wave. You can wave
Shall
and
I
like,
let
yep, I
people
can
in?
see you.
There's people
Yes, you can.
waiting.
I can see you waving.
Yes, you can.
And that's nice. At least I can do that. We can do that. So welcome. Welcome to the book launch of Winsome Duncan's Bed 24 Chronicles this evening. We are going to have a great time. We've got 2 hours of your time, and thank you for joining us. And I'd like to start with a few house rules, your house rules. Okay. So if you hear a fire alarm, do what you do best. I don't know, run. Whatever you do, because it'll be your
Yes,
fire
I hear you.
alarm. Okay. So we'll start
Can I
there.
leap out, please? With
You
my
can limp
crutch.
out.
I can't run.
For those of you who need assistance, call whoever you call on a normal basis. But also, if you've got your snacks and you've got your popcorn, please cough quietly. Otherwise, you stay muted. But no, seriously, relax, enjoy. We've got some wonderful speakers this evening, and Winston will be doing a reading, and there's things that we've got here for you this evening, and yeah, it's gonna be a good night. So thank you for joining us, and I believe I'm going to hand over at this moment to Winsome, and we'll go from there.
Thank you, thank you. Good evening, everybody. My name is Winsome. Now, you know who I am, most of you, I hope. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining. I am super charged, super inspired to just get this event started and just hear the messages of hope and strength in this session today. We are celebrating my book. It's a journal, hospital recovery journal companion, Bed 24, because that was the longest time that I was in that bed within my hospital stay of 3 months and 17 days, right? So it's a bit chunky. So if you go to the gym, you can do some weights like that. How about that, innit? And it's just a tool. No, it is a tool to help people that are on their hospital journey and their recovery journey. Because if I had that, I'd be so blessed. Do you understand what I'm saying? It is my pleasure to invite this wonderful, beautiful soul up who I think I've known that. I mean, I've been in South London since 2000. I've been in South London, and I go to the church She is the head pastor. And I go to the church Micah Ministries in Camberwell. And it was really interesting because 3 years ago was when my hospital journey really started, and I had another surgery, but I'm going to keep that one for the book because no one don't know really what happened to me in terms of my memoir. And my soul just said, get back into church. I hadn't been for a little while. And I'm so glad I did because the support, the love, the fellowship, the encouragement, it has made me into who I am today and a spiritual discernment. So even though she's busy, she's making some time just to open up in prayer and just to bless this occasion because I'm talking worldwide, global, million copies sold, nothing less. That's how much this revelation is for me. So, without further ado, I'd like to invite Pastor Lorna to unmute herself and come on in and introduce. Hey,
Amen.
Tony.
Thank you, and good evening, everybody. Wonderful to be here tonight to celebrate with Winsome. It's an awesome privilege to be here and to be a part of this launch of the Bed 24 Chronicles Recovery Journal. I had the privilege of spending a couple of hours beside Winsome in her bed 24, and we talked and laughed and shared good times. And somebody having experience about of illness myself, I identify with some of the things that she's talked about in her book. So every book has a story behind it, but some books are born out of pain, perseverance, and remarkable courage. Today's launch reminds us that although none of us would choose suffering, God has a way of bringing purpose from our pain and hope from our hardest seasons. Winsome has taken her own journey of recovery and has transformed it into something that will encourage countless others, and that's a wonderful thing. What she experienced personally will now become a source of comfort, strength, and practical help for people she may never, ever actually meet. We celebrate not only the publication of a book, but the resilience of the human spirit, the power of hope, and the difference one person's testimony can make in the lives of so many others. Winsome, thank you for all you do and for allowing your journey to become someone else's encouragement. We pray that this book will touch lives far beyond anything you could imagine. So let's pray. Father, we thank you for bringing us together for this special occasion. Lord, we acknowledge that every good and perfect gift comes from you. And today we thank you for the gift of this journal and the testimony that lies behind it. Thank you for sustaining Winsome through one of the most challenging seasons of her life. Thank you for your faithfulness, your strength, your comfort, and your grace that carried her day by day. Lord, we dedicate this book to you. We pray that it will become a source of hope for those who feel discouraged, a source of peace for those who are anxious, and courage for those who are afraid, and also comfort for those who walk through illness and recovery. May every person who opens the pages of this book find encouragement. May they find wisdom. May they find renewed strength. May families, carers, healthcare professionals also be inspired through the message. Lord, we pray for this launch. Bless every conversation, every testimony, every interview, every communication that is made, Lord. We ask that you would open doors that no one can shut. Give this journal influence way beyond our expectations. Lord, bring renewed hope to many through the pages of this book. Lord, continue to bless Winsome, strengthen her, guide her, and use her life as a testimony of your goodness and faithfulness. We declare that this book is blessed and will have good success. We commit this launch into your hands, and we ask this all in the precious name of Jesus. Amen. Amen.
Okay. Right. Okay. At this time, we are going to have a short film entitled Surviving Bed 24.
So I think I really must have been high on these painkillers because like it was some air that, you know, I was sucking, and somehow I managed to make a film about it. It's like, say, 3 minutes. So I'm going to share my screen now, and I am going to show you. And thank you very much, Pastor Lorna. I know that we can move forward and rise in prayer. Right, let me see now my screen. Oh, here we go, share. So there was another Winsome Duncan in the room, and that's not me because I'm me. So if we can just help to keep those that are co-hosted, just help to keep an eye on the room, I'd really, really appreciate that. Thank you. Can you see my screen? Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Life will inevitably knock you down. At some point, on some day, it will throw punches you never saw coming. However, it's not the fall that defines you, it is how you rise. Can you imagine being told that your leg might be amputated? That was my reality. One misstep and my whole life changed. I laid in a hospital bed for nearly 4 months. Bed 24 became my home. Of course, there were moments I could have given up. Yet something deep on the inside of me whispered, keep on going, keep on going. And I did. Whatever you are facing right now, pain, whatever you are facing right now, fear, whatever you are facing right now, uncertainty, you have a duty to stand tall and weather the storm. There is a destiny call upon your life. You are hearing this message for a reason. Become your own safe space. This is a reminder that even during your toughest times, you are never alone. You are going to make it. You must rise, reflect, recover. Bed 24 Chronicles is your personal hospital companion. Order now and begin your healing journey back to strength. Always remember, even on your darkest of days, you can still shine.
Hey lovelies, hope you're doing well. I just want to encourage you not to give up.
Narrated by Winston Duncan, BBC One Extra Future Figure.
Wow. Did you want to say anything, Winsome, straight after that, or shall I jump in there?
Well, it's grateful. Yeah, I'm just so grateful because it could have been so different, but it wasn't my destiny. I had a lot to learn, and I'm just thankful that I was able to keep my leg and it wasn't amputated.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot. A budding filmmaker in the process, shall we say?
Definitely. Most
Yeah,
definitely.
thank you.
Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. It was a trigger for me, I have to say, having spent about 5 weeks in hospital. I'll share later on, but just on the tail end of that, it was definitely a trigger for me. And I spent 5 weeks in hospital at one point before, and seeing that it's a different story, but the spending time in hospital, it got me a bit emotional, to be fair. And yeah, it was much. But thank you for this space. Thank you for this moment. And thank you for the journal. And I know what it will do for others, and their families too, not just for the person that might be in bed 22, 24, 13, but for the families of that person in there. It's huge. I can testify to that. So thank you. And thank you for sharing. I really appreciate you for that. So next we
Let's
have,
just do a quick call out because
sure.
I can't actually see Pastor Ira. I put in the
Okay.
chat.
All
Yeah,
right.
so Ira, if you are here, put your hand up or put something in the chat. I don't think he's here yet, possibly.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I know people are just coming in from work. Just make yourself known
I can
to
see
us.
someone waving.
He
Mm,
is here.
okay, that's good.
It's the name. It's the name.
What name is it?
It says
Right.
Newtang or Newtang Global.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's Pastor Ira, but it's just a different name.
It's the
Spell
name.
new for me. Is it
It's
N-E-W?
nut. It says
NUT.
nut.
Yeah, no,
Is it,
yeah.
Oh,
it
right.
looks like a nut.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Brilliant. So I'm gonna make you co-host, and you should be able to. Well, actually, no. Before you unmute your mic, you can do the introduction. Thank you. He is in the building.
Thank you. Okay. So um, let me just do some magic here. Da-da-da-da. Or maybe I don't have any magic here. I'm going to introduce.
Do you want me to help you out, my sister?
Yes,
Am I
please.
my
Because I
sister's
was a little bit
keeper?
thrown.
Yeah, yes, I is. All right now. So it's only fitting that I'd introduce Pastor Ira Jackson because I think he prefers me to say Ira Jackson, but he has, whenever I'm in hospital, always calls me. He doesn't know I'm in hospital. Whenever I've got my treatments, my phone is ringing up. How are you, sis? That's how he talks. How are you, sis? And I'm like, I'm okay, but I'm in hospital. So he is amazing. So, an experienced change consultant and executive coach who is passionate about making a lasting difference in the lives of individuals, teams, and organizations, helping leaders navigate complex transformations with clarity, purpose, and confidence. His diverse background spanning sorry, try to get me words together. Spanning retail, property sales, music, management, and pastoral ministry, combined sharp commercial insights with people-centered leadership by blending strategic thinking with emotional intelligence. He forces his developing high performing professionals and building resilient, values driven cultures. Sorry, I didn't read this in advance. Apologies, people. Nearly there. He empowers people to overcome complexities, people like me, strengthen collaborations, and fully realize their highest potential. I have to say a salute to Ira and his wife, Bev. Thank you. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Winsome. And let me just start by saying that we're proud of you. I'm part of Winsome's church community. I've known her for a couple of years now, and really proud of you, really proud of what you've done, really proud of how you've come through. And I want to thank everybody for being here tonight and seeing so many people supporting you, Winsome. And this Bed 24 Chronicles book is brilliant. It's really brilliant. So I'm sure this book isn't about having the perfect body. It's not about six packs, abs, lifting the heaviest weights, or following the latest fitness trend. It's about something for me much deeper. It's about the decisions we make every single day and how those decisions either move us closer to the life we want or further away. My story is this. There was a time when fitness and health was simply part of who I was. I was active, I was training regularly. I felt strong, not just physically, but mentally. Exercise gave me confidence, purpose, and energy. But the decisions we make has a way of changing us slowly, almost invisibly. How is that? Work becomes busier, your responsibilities grow, excuses become easier. One missed workout becomes a week, 1 week becomes a month. Healthy habits, slowly, I'm sure you know this, disappear. I didn't wake up one morning and decide to let myself go. It happened gradually. And that's what makes it so dangerous, because the biggest changes in our lives, good or bad, rarely happen overnight. They're built one decision at a time. There's a saying that says, decisions determine direction and direction determines destination. In other words, where you want to end up in life is determined by the decisions you make and the direction that you go in. I was aware. First thing I want you to recognize tonight, awareness. Before I knew it, I wasn't just carrying extra weight, I was carrying frustration, disappointment, and regret. The hardest part of it was what I saw in the mirror when I looked in the mirror. It was knowing that I'd become someone I never intended to be. For a long time, I looked for motivation. I thought motivation would magically appear one Monday morning. It didn't, folks, because motivation is unreliable. Some days I feel like training and some days I don't. If you want success and you want it to depend on how you feel, you'll never ever stay consistent. This is my story. Everything changed when I stopped chasing motivation and realized I'd become subconsciously committed to my unhealthy habits and decisions. So I became aware, but the second thing was I discovered I had to make a psychological shift to buy in. There's a story about a chicken and a pig walking down a farm lane, and they walk past an orphanage. And the pig says to the chicken, or the chicken says to the pig, let's go and give those orphans eggs and bacon. The pig turns around to the chicken and says, that's fine for you because you can pop eggs out one at a time. But for me, it's total commitment. In other words, I had to make that psychological shift. I had to stop seeing fitness as something that I had to do and start seeing it as someone I was. After the second quarter this year, end of June, I started to have a review of my year so far, my personal priorities, my personal goals, etc. And I recognized, whilst I was doing research and study for somebody else's help in organization, that actually I hadn't fully bought in to my healthy lifestyle. Not because it was easy, not because I'd suddenly loved working out, but because I didn't understand the power of buy-in. We've all been in boardrooms or been in meetings where a boss may mentally assent to a project or an idea, but then never advocate for it outside of the boardroom. That's not buy-in. Sometimes we think it's buy-in, but it isn't. Until you become an advocate, until I become an advocate, until we become advocates of our health and fitness, then ultimately we're not truly bought in. Every healthy choice was a vote for the person I want to become. Every workout matters. Every walk matters. Every meal counts. Not because I was perfect, but because it's progress. And they say that go after progress, not perfection. The transformation isn't just psychological for me, but it's also physical. The scriptures say that faith without works is absolutely dead. It says, if you show me your faith without works, I'll show you my works without faith. Both of them are dead. So in conclusion tonight, the change. That's what this book is really all about. It's about changing the conversation we have with ourselves. It's about replacing excuses with ownership, Replacing I'll start tomorrow, because Winston couldn't do that. She was in the middle of it. I'll start tomorrow with I'll start today. Replacing I can't with I'm choosing not to. Because here's the truth. Nobody is coming to rescue us. Nobody can exercise for us. Nobody can eat well for us. Nobody can make the healthy choices and decisions except us. So the greatest investment we will ever make isn't in our house, isn't in the car, isn't in the career. It's in our health. Because without health, everything else becomes secondary or harder. So I want to encourage you tonight. You're never too far gone to start again. You haven't missed your chance. You haven't failed because you struggled. You only really fail if convincing yourself that change is impossible. This book isn't about asking you to become perfect. It's about asking you to make one decision, one walk, one workout, one healthy meal, one promise to yourself that'll keep you going. The small decisions compound into a completely different life. And if I could leave you with one thought tonight, it would be this. Your future isn't created by the occasional big moment, the big event. It's created by the small choices you make when nobody's watching. So choose yourself, choose your health. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wasn't that
Sorry.
beautiful? Thank you. Thank you so much. There is a personal trainer on here. Alex, give us a wave. Who's absolutely amazing. He is an MS warrior, and I definitely think you should connect, because I have had to lose, like, well, I've lost 50 pounds on my weight loss journey. So I get it in terms of the way that you need to speak into that destiny. And we talk a lot about that after church as well. So it is really about accountability. So do connect with him before you go off, Pastor Ira. Thank you very much for that. I'm encouraged. I just want to say quickly before you chime in, Shauna, when I was reading it, I had a thought, because we that I do, there are timers on, Zoom, and I just figured that we're kind of organic, as my friend Joanna loves to be. And I just feel like everyone can manage their own time. I don't need another job to do, so I'm not going to do timers. So that was what was going through my head. But I've got my phone here. So, if you're taking 20 minutes, I'll have to interject. But yeah, is that all right with everyone? Is that good? Thumbs up, please. Okay, so this is the launch of Bed 24 Chronicles. Over to you, Shauna Dawn Lewis. Hey,
Thank
girl, hey.
you. Thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate. I've also been on a weight loss journey, so I get it. I mean, before, when anyone mentioned about weight loss journeys, I'd just be like burying my head and like, can you just hurry up, please? Because I need to go and eat or something like that. And I'd be cringing, and I just don't want to hear about it. But having been on my own weight loss journey and lost 6 stone 5 pounds so far, I'm like, yes, it needs to be done. And it's an important journey, and health is wealth. And I did have a little bit of help, but it's still important. Again, you will hear as I speak a little bit later on. So now, as we move on, I am going to, again, because the night is about the lady in question, Winsome Duncan, and the story so far. So over to you.
Have you got a little intro there? Have you got it? You're
Oh,
muted, my dear.
you know what? I'm definitely not going to get paid. I mean, God, listen. So let's do this,
For the
okay?
banter, you
I
might
just,
just be.
I mean, okay, can I just say, when you do your feedback, just say her hair was nice, all right? If nothing else about her hair was nice. That's if you like it, that is. But anyway, let's go with the intro. So here we go. Founder of Winsome Ignite Network, In short, WIN. Creative Healing Transformation. Assisting your pathway to authentic restoration. Winsome Duncan is BBC One Extra Future Figures. As a best-selling writer, book confident coach, and filmmaker who empowers people to ignite their creativity, transform their lived experiences in powerful, valued stories, PVS. As a visionary behind Winsome Ignite Network, she leads a creative and healing ecosystem dedicated to evaluating voices, nurturing emotional, renewing, and guiding individuals towards telling their authentic restoration stories. Through her signature style of Just Write It workshops for budding authors, #1 books, films, and transformational rebuilding projects, Winsome supports emerging and established authors, narrators to express themselves with courage and concise clarity. Her work bridges creative and well-being, helping people turn pain into purpose using her personal stories as she impacts and creates. A passionate advocate for artistic empowerment via the catalyst of writing. Winsome uses WIN to inspire worldwide communities to elevate, express, and rise into their artistic skies, one story at a time. Thank you. Over to you, my lovely.
Thank you so much. Much obliged. So first of all, I want to say big up to everyone that is online and here. Welcome, Penny. Welcome, user. Your name is not listed there. Who else have we got? Welcome, Des. Nice to see you. Welcome, Charles. Welcome, Tony. Welcome, Mary, Claudette. Welcome, Amma, Michelle, Moirin. Annette, Pastor Annette, welcome. Sandra, Caroline, welcome, Cuzzy. Another Sandra in the building. Marcia, hey, hey. Tamika, oh, she's a very good chefin. Claudette, welcome. McConan, welcome. Yvonne, welcome. Tara, welcome. Welcome. I'm not going, welcome. He who knows it feels it. Well done for coming. Letitia, Adam, Nefertari, Mrs. Oh, welcome. Connie, Sandra. Hopefully I've said everybody's name. If I've not, I love you. Ruth, welcome. I see some people that have problems logging in. I see you. I value you. I love you madly, truly, deeply. Thank you for being on this journey with me. This is amazing. We are about to do something massive. We're on TikTok, we're on Facebook, and we are going to be on YouTube. We are going to change the landscape of how people get treated in hospital. I can assure and guarantee you that. My name is Winsome Duncan. I am BBC One Extra Future Figures, and I'm really glad to be here. Woo! What a journey. What a journey. I mean, I think the majority of you know me, but just for those of you that don't, I'm just going to show you what my life was like before the accident. So I had a dislocated, so on today, the 21st of July, 1 year ago today, on one step, I fell in mud and I dislocated, not broke, I dislocated my right knee. And I ended up in hospital for 3 months and 17 days. And I had metal rods sticking out, as you saw in the video. And it was very painful time for me on many fronts. What I was, though, I was just busy. And I think I wasn't busy on purpose. And I think God had to draw me out and say, you're going the wrong way. Because for me, an entrepreneur really and truly doesn't work in their business, they work on it. I was spreading myself too thin. And if you're not listening, there's going to be life lessons that are going to come to you in many different ways, as you're going to hear tonight. These people have come over insurmountable things. Like, I just, dislocated my leg. I'm going to be all right. But life's lessons are going to either make you stronger or break you. So for the pleasure of those of you that perhaps don't know me and just joined in on Eventbrite, I'm going to quickly share my screen. Hopefully you can see the full screen now. Give me a nod, Shana, please. Can you see the full screen? Is it showing full or is it still slides? If not, I can just change the whole layout. Wait a minute. Let's see.
No, it's showing the slides. It's fine. The whole
Right,
screen.
so it's full now. Okay, cool. All right, so I was, as I said, Winston Duncan, BBC One Extra Future Figures, book confidence coach. And why is my mouse not working? Okay, so I was at City Hall with the Voice newspaper. I'm an author of 26 books, always on BBC London, doing some interviews. So I'll be going there with this book. I created 5 #1 bestsellers. One of my first bestsellers was The Popcorn House with my community interest company, the Look Like Me Book Challenge, which supports diverse books for authors. And I co-wrote that with, I think, a cohort of 31 children ages between 7 to 18. That was my first ever #1 book, which we're turning into animation. My motivation is the fact that only 4% of characters in these children's books are of African Caribbean descent. An inanimate object is more likely to be seen than a child. And that really, really annoyed me. And the joke of it is, over COVID, it spiked to 10%, and now it's gone back down to 4. These are some of the amazing young people I've worked with. Award winner, Southwark Entrepreneur of the Year, representing with the mayor of Southwark at the time, councillors, been on billboards. Wow, look at that. Isn't she amazing? Go, Winsome, go, Winsome, go. Go, Winsome, go. And I got my little Beyonce there, right there in the corner. I never had that hairstyle again, but hey ho. I think that was my 40th birthday. I did a little Beyonce. There is the deputy mayor of Southwark, Dr. Debbie Weeks Bernard. Not many people know it's a black female, again with the Voice newspaper doing stalls. Uh, Lots of accolades, been here on TV, blah, blah, blah. Everything. It looks good, doesn't it? It's all glossy. It's all glossy. Chilling with Mayor of Suffolk, £10,000 from National Lottery. And then it all came to an end. It stopped. And I was like, why? What is going on here? What is the purpose of this? And I tell you what, yeah, when you in a bed like that, I couldn't move my leg. My leg was just straight. You got time to think. We had a nice view. I was looking across the water. I was going to say the ocean, but not quite. I was looking across the water, and I had to sit and think, what has brought me to this point? More than halfway through my life, what do I need to learn here? It was one of my darkest, darkest, darkest times. Considering I hadn't been in hospital much up until this point. And I didn't know if I was going to make it. I'll be real with you. I did not know if I was going to make it. What my life looks like today, have carers come in twice a day to help me with daily stuff as I become to learn to become independent again. 1 year on, I still walk with a limp, so I'm still disabled somewhat and need assistance with my crutch. Went from 2 crutches to 1. I see physio twice a week to help strengthen my joints. I wanted to do a diagram. I didn't get a chance to do it, but I tore my ACL, which is my anterior collateral lateral ligament, my MCL, which is my medial collateral ligament, and my LCL, which is, I do know this, but I feel a bit, it's a ligament, not at all. Lateral collateral ligament, that's it. And it made my knee unstable. And they couldn't operate on me because of my size. It was too big. And if they did operate, it wouldn't have been successful. So they just had to let the knee rest. And I had to sit down. And I even have a hospital bed, actually, that is electric. Zoom up, zoom down. And that's my story, you know? And I was in that hospital bed, and this nurse kept saying, "You should write a book, you should write a book, you should write a book." And I was like, let's call her Ria. Ria, you should write a book, you should write a book, you write a book, write a book, write a book. And I'm like, can you not, like, why every time you look after me, you have to talk to me? The last thing I want to do is write a book. Last thing I want to do is tell my story. Look at me. People would come in and gasp, metal rods out of my legs. You saw the video. Write a book, write a book, write a book, write a book. And I think one day I just wanted to shut her up. And then I thought about it and I said to myself, okay, if I'm going to write a book, what would it be about? And that's where this road started. That's where we began. So Bed 24 Chronicles is 219 pages of journaling prompts. You can hear my alarm going off. Positive affirmations, medical. Well, there's a shopping list. I had some curry goat on my shopping list, mate. Didn't I, Dr. Myers? Yes, I did. You were one of the people. Actually, I forgot to put ginger shots. That was on my list as well, Joanna. Yes, so planning ahead, lots and lots of information to make sure the ones that you loved are looked after and cared for, that you can have an activity book that you can document while you're in your hospital stay, because they're human. They are human. I'm going to read a little bit from this later on, so you will hear some of what's inside of this, how to regulate your emotions, because I my temperament can be very fiery, to say the least. And I really had to advocate and be assertive pertaining to everything. So this is number one, Word 24 Chronicles, a chat. I think I put the link in the chat. I'll put it in again. Um, then it's going to be the memoir. And then it's going to be the TV show. I've actually got it all planned out. And I'm on a different path now, which is to really help hundreds and thousands of people to tell their stories, write their book in the form of a group rather than just one-to-ones, one-to-ones, one-to-ones. And that is how I'm pivoting. And I think the greatest lesson that I have learned is that your mindset is so powerful. Yeah, hear me. Your mindset is that so powerful that you have to speak positivity over your life. You might not be in hospital, like maybe the husband left. I don't know what you're going through right now. I really don't. But whatever it is, a positive mental attitude is what's going to get you through. Yeah, that's what's going to make you an overcomer. That's what's going to restore you. That's what's going to get you on the road to victory, my dear. So, for me, basically, that's how I got through, praying to God and just asking people around me to assist me with whatever they could, and they did. And I love them dearly for that. I really, really do. I mean, look, you've all shown up today, and I'm remembering Tamika's fried fish. I got looked after. Anyway, I'm a foodie. I'm a food connoisseur, for those of you that know me, know me. So just to say, put in the chat, the speakers that have come up before, do put in the chat links to your works. That would be Pastor Ira, Pastor Lorna. I know you have to get off soon. And do make sure you connect and reach out and just be encouraged, because this is going to just fill you up, up, up. Okay. I'm done speaking, Jonathan Lewis. But I'm gonna speak some more. Wait a minute. So I'm introducing the next person. You know what? Let's just go with it, man. This is just funny today. Right. Okay. So I'm introducing this amazing guest. You are here You're about to hear a phenomenal story. So she is the hostess with the mostest. My co-host, Shauna Dawn Lewis. Let me get my little glasses on. All right now. So our host is a author, publisher, speaker, professional chef, Until I try, I gotta try. And baker, consultant, and mentor. She has survived not one, not two, not even three, but six. One, two, three, four, five, six brain surgeries. Hmm. Oh my goodness me. Come on, people. Come on. Six brain surgeries. Hello. She comes from Hackney in East London and is the mother of two young adults. She has a signature pink hair and is widely known as the Sassy Saint. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, 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 Shauna Dawn Lewis. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Kisses. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hi. Do you know what? I'm going to do my job just quickly before I speak.
Okay.
I know it's in the chat, but there is an affiliated link to the book, Bed 24 Chronicles. It's in the link. Please use the link to purchase the book from Amazon. Ooh, ooh. And now I shall speak. So, hello, my name is Shauna Dawn Lewis, aka the Sassy Saint. And as you heard from my introduction, I am a survivor of 6 brain operations. I currently live with 2 mechanisms inside my brain called shunts that pump fluid off of my brain every single day, keeping me alive. I have a build-up. I live with 2 brain conditions, one called Chiari malformation type 1. That's a mouthful, so we just say Chiari for short. And the other one is hydrocephalus or hydrocephalus, which is a build-up of fluid on the brain. And I keep the sides of my hair shaved because I never know when I'm going to have another brain operation. And that's not lacking faith, it's a reality, okay? Hence, I've had 6 brain operations. So the shunts, so the hydrocephalus, the shunts, either side of the brain, I need both of them. I absolutely need both of them. They pump fluid off of the brain. What happens is, as they pump fluid off of the brain, they pump the fluid off and they go through the system. And I go to toilet a lot, basically. What happened, the Chiari malformation, the base of my brain protrudes into my spinal canal, and that caused the secondary condition, the hydrocephalus, which built the fluid on the brain. And so that, what that did was caused the fluid basically to just cause a lot of damage on my brain. And I had to learn to walk again properly, speak again properly, and use my hands again properly. I live in pain every single day. There is not one day that I am not pain-free. Because the simple fact is that if it's not one condition, it's the other, or it may be that it's both conditions are warring together that cause me the pain. Nevertheless, unless I tell you to look at me, you won't know that. And that's the way I want to live my life. I want to live like that because I am a born-again Christian and I love the Lord. And I often say I feel honored that God would use me to tell this story. Because when I tell it, people are like, what? Are you serious? And yes, I am. And 4 of my brain, I think it's 4, 4 of my brain operations, I actually have to be awake when it's happening. So yeah, I hear the drill. So Yeah, I do. I'm going to be quite brief with this story. I'm going to be brief. So there are still moments that my speech can be slurred. There are moments where I forget things. It's difficult. My walking can be difficult. I do use a walking stick, a folded up walking stick. I walk with a limp, and there are times where that my hands can become crippled, so it's difficult to use my hands. But yet I run a small but successful cake business. There are many different things that I do. And as Winston said, I am an author. And in 2020, I wrote a book because when COVID hit in 2020, when COVID hit, I had my 6th brain operation. And when I left hospital, rather than recover, to spend time recovering, I decided to write about it. And my book is called Operation 6, Matters of the Head and Heart. And so I'm going to read you the back of the book. And it says, I had no idea that in 2020, I would be having my 6th brain operation. My aunt would end up in a coma after contracting COVID-19, and I would meet a man that I really, really liked and who wasn't a Christian. All this before my 50th birthday. While the world was gripped by a pandemic, I got to discover that I'm made of tougher stuff than even I realized. I am a plus-sized single mother, not so plus size anymore these days. I'm a plus-size single mother with pink hair, brain issues, who comes from Hackney. I'm also a sassy and sound woman of God, a woman with a purpose to share the miraculous healing power and the love of God. This I intend to pursue until I reach the pearly gates. In Operation 6, Matters of the Head and Heart, I allow you into my head, literally, to give you insight into the physical pain I experience on a daily basis. I also reveal my heart at one of the most vulnerable points of my life to date, in the hope you will find strength and comfort in your own situation and the opportunity to laugh with me as I share my journey with you. Winsome did the typesetting on my book, as she was contacted by my publisher at the time. Since then, I've actually started my own publishing company called the Sassy Saint Publishing House, and I've actually now gone on to write a short story mini series, which is a spin-off from this book, a fictional one. Because the love interest in this book is called Mr. Fine. I don't know if everyone else finds him fine, but I did at the time. It's called The Temptations of Mr. Fine. And it's a spin-off, but it's to help other Christian women that may come across guys that are not Christians that they like. It's a long story, but what I want to do is to drive you to my website, which is shanadawnlewis.com, and other things that I'm doing. But just to go back to who I am and how I live my life I'm registered disabled. My whole home is adapted for my disability. I am a disabled woman. Nevertheless, with that said, I don't present as that. I don't want to present as that. I want to live my life as best as I can, but letting people know it is well. It is okay. When people say you don't get it, you don't understand, and then I tell them my story, they're like, what? No way. And then I said, I can do all things through Christ who gives me the strength to do this. It's possible. And then I'm able to, because I may be the only Jesus people see. And then I'm able to tell them my story, and then we can talk. Okay. So God will use who he will use. So I just want to say that little bit And I thank Winsome for the opportunity to share that with you and to give God the glory in this time. So thank you very much. There you go. I'm
Listen,
Charlotte Lewis, aka the Sassy Saint, over and out.
listen, Shana, some hearts, people. What a overcomer. See, you didn't know about bed 24, did you? Yes, there's bed 25 and 39 and 22. Try not to be in any of those. Love to you all, my beautiful people. What an inspiring powerhouse. You are incredible. Absolutely incredible. And actually, I've typeset her book. So when you do get a copy, because you're going to put your website in the chat, right?
Yeah, will do.
Thank you very much, and your socials and everything that you need.
Yeah.
When you do get a chance to connect, because this is all about connection, and we will open up for question and answers at the end. Don't worry. You can ask me or anybody sitting on the panel that you feel drawn to, that you feel connected to, a question. That's what it's all about. It's about networking and being here together forever. But yeah, that is very, very and well done on that weight loss. You're looking
I'm trying.
yeah.
I'm trying.
I see you on the dance floor. And you've got some sort of fashion designer because you are always dressing nice and looking really, really
Bless you.
good. So keep that up. Keep that up. Well done, lovely. Before we go to our next guest, I just want to say this morning I was at 800 on Amazon. I was at 800 on Amazon in their little was it the charts. So at the moment I am charting at 283 in self-help, stress and management. So your book, when you buy the copy of the book, you're going to help me to probably, I would hope, fingers crossed, get into the top 100 today and get the message out to so many more people. And this is the type of gift that, you know, whenever you know someone in hospital or in recovery, they need. So thank you for getting me from 800. I wish I took a screenshot earlier of that so I could just prove it, but never mind. I will just keep checking the pages. Now, I've heard a lot of people talking about health, including myself as well. So it's just fitting this next guest coming up to join us. So Shana, over to you, my love.
Hello. Right. So our next guest, paralyzed by multiple sclerosis at 23. Alec Dean refused to break. He defied a wheelchair, relearned to walk, and became an award-winning personal trainer. Praise God. Now leading confirmed anomalies. Sorry, see, I did read this before. Yes, CIC. Alex empowers those with MS and sickle cell to reclaim their lives, prove them wrong, rebuild under pressure. Ladies and gentlemen, Alec Dean. Alex, unmute yourself. Lovely. Thank you.
How's everyone doing? Everyone well tonight? I hope so. I hope so. It's so inspirational hearing everyone's story so far. And honestly, it's a privilege to be here to share my own story as well. But tonight, I'm here to talk about discipline, resilience, and building under pressure. Because life hasn't always been how it currently looks. And at that moment there, we kind of have to make the decision whether we're going to push through or whether we're going to stop and wait for someone to try and save us. In most scenarios, people are not going to be able to save us, and our efforts are normally the sole thing that will change our situation, whether that will propel us into the future or whether that will keep us at a plateau and keep us stagnant in where we are. I'm going to share my screen so that you guys can see the presentation that I have for you guys. And
Nothing
Everyone
showing
able?
just yet.
Okay. Interesting.
Are you on your
Yeah.
laptop or your phone?
No, my laptop.
Okay. Do you want to email
Oh,
it to me
no,
and
we're
oh,
good.
hold on, something's happening.
No, we're good.
Yeah, it's come up. Just put it on your presentation.
Yeah. All right. So, for those that don't know, I'm an author. I'm a director of a CIC called Confirm Anomaly. What we do is we support people with multiple sclerosis and sickle cell, and we produce a number of community outreaches to get people together, different communities together, just showing them different ways in which they can stay healthy, to encourage themselves physically and mentally to change the position that they're actually in. I'll get into becoming an author later on in this speech. However, I feel like a lot of you don't understand why I'm here today and what it is that has become an obstacle in my life. So I would say in about 2016, this was me. I was just going out enjoying life. This was a long time ago. I even was playing American football and I was quite active and just enjoying and learning how to be an adult. Life drastically changed for me in 2016 after diagnosis of multiple sclerosis. If those that don't understand what multiple sclerosis is, it's when your body mistakes your myelin sheath and it attacks itself that will sever the nerves between the brain and the rest of the body. So it affects people differently. But for myself, I would lie in bed one day. I woke up in the middle of early hours of the morning to go to the toilet. And when that happened, I couldn't feel anything below the waist. I couldn't sit up, I couldn't walk, I couldn't do anything. So I remembered the reason why I did wake up was because I needed to go to the toilet to relieve myself. Unfortunately, I had to hoist myself into the bed. I swung my legs out of bed, and the moment my feet touched the ground and I stood up, I fell flat on my face. At this point, I was lying on the ground looking at the ceiling, didn't quite understand what was going on, but I did remember the nurse did say, "We have diagnosed you with multiple sclerosis." Now, even that journey of me getting there was a very dark part of my life because at this moment of time, I was studying to become a civil engineer. I was traveling, and many things were going on that put a lot of limitations on my life at that time. So having a diagnosis like this would really not something that anybody would ever want ever in your life, but especially now where I'm learning to grow and navigate through life, that's definitely not the moment where I want to hear that. So in the run up to my diagnosis, what I actually had was 3 MRI scans followed by a lumbar puncture. Now, a lumbar puncture is when you have to lie on your side, they push a needle in the base of your spine and they extract the spinal fluid. And from there, they're able to give you a full diagnosis. So the nurse, sorry, stopped me, asked me how old I was. I was 23 at the time. And she then asked me if anybody in my family had multiple sclerosis, which I said no. And she was quite concerned as to how something like this had happened to me. But needless to say, I was passed on to physiotherapists and they were trying to assist me as much as possible. But I wanted more. I wanted more for myself. I wanted to make a change because this isn't the way that I wanted to continue to see life. The way that I was living in a reduced form, where my mobility was impaired, where my life had changed drastically, where the smallest of things became the hardest of things, this was something that I didn't want. And since coming out of a wheelchair, which took me 6 months, I've just gone on to do so much from releasing a smoothie recipe book to help manage my condition, or even becoming a personal trainer to help others whilst helping myself. All of which has been very helpful. I graduated from my degree, and I've been in a number of different communities helping out at the fitness events or even participating at the fitness event, pushing myself past my limit and making sure that I can inspire and motivate as many people on the go. I feel like with physical activity, a lot of people don't really understand what problems that it might incur during your trip or your journey. But mind over matter, a lot of the time it just comes down to discipline. It comes to preparation. It comes down to how do you schedule your day or how you put your day in a certain organization or a way or method in order for you to adapt, in order for you to rebuild under pressure. You don't need to make anything hard for yourself. You need to make things easier for yourself. So how I like to start my day, it does start with the most energy exerting tasks at the beginning, and then as the day gradually goes by, things get easier and easier. So, for example, I'm just doing check-ins, etc., after I've had an excruciating gym workout, which doesn't really require a lot from me. But at the same time, my mind is working very much efficiently, and it's doing everything I need to do, and it all schedules correctly. So, with the CIC as well, I found that it would all had to be started because I don't feel like the awareness of multiple sclerosis or sickle cell is really out there. Other than conditions like cancer, diabetes, heart disease, I don't feel like multiple sclerosis is actually discussed enough. There's enough awareness about it. And for me personally, I didn't feel like I got the help that I needed. So that is why in 2022, I decided to come together with my business partner and we made this company in order to help as many people in the community who has these conditions. And what we do is we host events, bring all the types of people or companies to come down to showcase their services, their product, and how they could help the community. I normally use businesses that I personally use myself. So that means that I've trusted them and I feel like it could help other people's help. I know in multiple sclerosis, just like any other condition, it's not one size, one shoe fits all. I know that many of times you need to find something that is helpful for you. And this is what it's about. Just being able to bridge the gap between A and B, and that's why we're here to help. So other than the vegan power recipe book that I've made that has 32 different recipes in there that can help with your inflammation, digestive, detoxing, anything, even to gain weight or lose weight. We also have the CIC, or we have personal training. And at this moment, I'm doing a lot of content creating, blogging, showing people that you can adapt, you can live a normal life, you can go away, you can enjoy yourself. It's just about finding a way that works for you. But again, I just want to thank everyone for listening today. And if you need to ask me any sort of questions or you want to connect with us, there with Instagram, my TikTok, and YouTube, or you can also find out more information on our website, thenoms.co.uk, and you will see any further events that are coming up too.
Thank you so much. Let me give you some flowers. Isn't he inspirational? Definitely reach out to him and connect. For me, when I first met Alex, I started crying. What did you think when I was just bawling when I heard your story, Alex?
I felt like obviously you were moved by what I was saying, and you probably related to what I went through, and for that reason, you probably moved you emotionally. And sometimes, like, it's hard to get words out, and sometimes we have to let our emotions do our talking, and people react differently. And in that moment, that's how you felt was, suitable.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very odd because it's not in my nature to do that, especially with, a stranger but I just thought, my gosh, you was in a wheelchair for 6 months and you taught yourself, relearned like the mindset that you have to have, ladies and gentlemen, to relearn how to walk again is absolutely incredible. So Alex is a vegan of 8 years now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
8
He's a
years.
chef, makes beautiful foods on his YouTube channel, which he's going to put in the chat for you, with over 1 million views. So he really is a top stellar creator, content creator, filmmaker, and doing amazing things. Um, Thank you. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing your book. And just leave us with one last word that because you're very disciplined, you're very consistent. And for me, when I was in hospital, we sort of had a sort of Instagram connection for nearly like 6 months. And then when I interviewed Alex to do the podcast, it became a friendship. So just give us, like, with your disciplined mindset, like your one last nugget, because I think you finished your time a bit early, but that's good. I'm not complaining. But just give us one last nugget to encourage the masses out here and share your details in the chat, please.
So, like, the main thing that we need to take away from what's going on right now is to not compare ourselves, not compare ourselves to others, not even compare ourselves to what we used to be able to do. We need to put ourselves in a state where we're analyzing what we currently have and we're working with that. You can't be thinking about what you used to be able to do. You can only talk about what you can do right now. Because in that scenario, all you're doing is speaking negatively about yourself. And the main thing is your mindset. If your mind doesn't want to do anything, you are not going to do. Your body will follow afterwards. So we have to put our best foot forward in our mind first before we decide to actually put anything else in motion. So please, anyone that's listening right now, I just want you to try and stay positive and mindset. Be very mindful of what you listen to, what conversations you're getting involved in, and how you're speaking to people as well. All of this is energy, and all of this will either project you or keep your journey stagnant.
Thank you very much, Mr. Watt. Please put all your details in the chat. The hearts are going off for you. Over to you, Shana.
Alex, thank you so much. Yeah, I loved that. I was locked in. I was absolutely locked in. And when you spoke about lumbar punctures, I can't actually, because of the fluid build up on my brain, I can't actually have lumbar punctures. And so often when I go to hospital with any kind of thing, they want to do a lumbar puncture on me. They want to test to see what it could be. And some doctors actually, because my condition is a specialist condition, they don't know that they can't do a lumbar puncture on me. And I have to convince them, you cannot do a lumbar puncture on me, because if you do a lumbar puncture on me, it could paralyze me. It could do this. And they're like, oh no, I've done 101 of these. I don't care if you've done 201 of these. You can't do it on me. And they have to actually go away and do their research and then come back and say, actually, we're sorry. You're quite right. We can't do a lumbar puncture on me. I told you that an hour and a half ago. So we have to actually be our own at times. We have to be our own administrators, doctors, and all these sorts of things. So again, I'm saying about the book, and I'm plugging the book for this reason. There's things that we have to know about. It's very important that things that we have to do as patients, and this book will definitely help with that. And having been in hospital and patients ourselves, this is important. So I just wanted to add that bit in there. So thank you again, Alex. So as I go into our next guest, I shall have a little read. Joanna Oliver. Joanna has a diverse professional background in sectors including universities, charities, social care, and therapeutic communities, underpinned by a range of academic awards, alongside working in business developments, strategies, and bid writings for a number of grassroots organizations. Joanna is a co-operational director and also co-leader for racial justice at the London ACE Hub. She also leads her own CIC, Chameleon Collaborative, and is on a mission to ditch the clock. Now, I don't know what that means. When I read this earlier on, I don't know what ditch the clock means. So I'm looking forward to knowing what that means. I didn't Google it. I could have Googled it beforehand, but I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wait to see what that means. So over to you, Joanna. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. My gosh. Well, this has been brilliant, right? So edifying in so many ways. And what amazed me listening to both of you, obviously I know Winsome's story. I've walked to an extent walked alongside some of it. So, before and after Bed 24. But I've not known yours, Shauna or Alex. And I was taken by the fact that I was hearing things that were quite like, gasp. But I was feeling inspired at the same time. It was like this polarity going on, right? Where I was feeling like, wow, you got, at the same time as hearing things and thinking, wow, how do you approach those things? And both of you have kind of spoken into the how. So thank you for the introduction. I was just thinking also that I've prepared this presentation. I'm thinking, is that even what I want to say now? Winsome said earlier on about the organic, approach. And that is definitely something that, myself and Winsome have been alongside each other in lots of different ways since, I think, about 2014, when Winsome first did a shout out for a proofreader. And I like telling this story a little bit, so I'm just going to a little bit tell this because I remember, Winsome, anybody that knows Winsome, she's just so, isn't she? Right? It has to be just so. And all that comes with that, right? I've learned over the 12 years. And I remember,
I'm not going to live this down, am I?
You're never going to live it down, Winsome. Because Winsome was like, so I responded to the shout out. Yeah, I can do that. No qualifications, but academic background, blah, blah, blah. So I said to Winsome, yeah, and she went, oh, well, what's your qualifications? And I'm like, I don't have any. And she's like, oh, it was all a bit like that. Anyway, she sent me something to proofread and I proofread it. And she's like, oh, rah. Winston says, well, you picked up on things that other people hadn't picked up on that were qualified. And then we just kind of developed this relationship from there, right? And I guess part of what I want to talk about tonight is the kind of ups and downs of being in relationship with people and kind of acknowledging the messages that we give to each other. Because I would say, and I was so glad, Winsome, that you spoke into, you were rushing around, right? Because that was the thing that was coming to me was, we can and do take our health for granted unless we've had that, the slap, as we might call it, the slap, because we haven't heard the whisper. And I'm glad that you spoke into that. I don't have a life. Well, I guess I do have a life-changing health story to an extent, but it feels like it's quieter and less prolonged than what's been spoken about. I didn't spend 3 months and 17 days in hospital. I haven't had 6 brain surgeries, and I most definitely have not been diagnosed with by anyone's standards, a life-changing diagnosis at age 22. I guess my health story probably though started 4 decades ago. And that's the bit that I really want to acknowledge, the body keeping score and the way that we don't always hear and listen, and the way that we set up our reputation and the expectations that people have of us based upon that identity. What happened with me was that in 2023, although it was going on before that, I acknowledged that I wasn't okay. I wasn't well. I went to the doctors. Actually, 2022, I went to the doctors, had scans, was told I had fibroids and something called adenomyosis, which I'd never heard of before. but kind of sent away, basically. Then I progressively felt unwell throughout the year, to the point where I went back under some private health cover that I had through an employment. And it turns out that what the original scan said was gas was actually a tumour. And by this point, it's 10 centimetres. And a few months later, I had surgery, which was 15. It was then 15, so it was growing quite swiftly. I had surgery, literally 3 months later. And the only reason I had surgery is that they didn't know if it was malignant. I'd had all the scans, MRI, CT, and all of those things, and they were saying, we can't see, we can't tell, we can't see, we can't tell. And I went through a whole thing where I'm thinking they're trying to con me. They just want me to have the surgery that I don't want to have, But then I had to have a word with myself. I'm a mum of 3. Are you going to take a risk and not have surgery? Kind of on principle more and belief. So I had the surgery anyway, and I left the hospital the next day. They were like, if you can do ABC, you can leave. I was up doing ABC. I didn't care. I needed to come home. I didn't want to be there. So the idea of spending 3 months and 17 days is like, no, for me, because I couldn't spend one night. One night was enough, and I wanted to be home. And of course I could get up and walk, and I could get up and sort myself out and show, I can do it. Let me go with my stockings on. Let me go. I could do that. So I'm grateful for that. But I think the ditch the clock and the whole, and I'm going to now run through these presentations. Winsome, you knew this was going to happen. That's why I smiled when you talked about the organic and the kind of free flow of things, right? But I'm going to nick a bit of Alex's time. Thanks, Alex. Because you didn't cover the whole time. Right. So what I want to show is a little bit of a reflection around health scares, ditching the clock, and the quiet wisdom of listening to your own life. Ditching the clock is something that I started speaking about probably now around 7 or 8 years, maybe 9 years ago, where I was starting to realise that we can live our lives according to this clock. And where does it even come from? Whose priorities are we abiding by? And as I said, myself and Winston, we've had these kind of lots of conversations. We've talked about messages about self-sacrifice. We've had lots and lots of conversations about pricing. And I've always said, no, my time is priceless. It doesn't matter if you're undercharging or overcharging. We've had so many conversations. The demands that we make of ourselves, and then also the demands that we make of other people when we are projecting our priorities onto them. So there's all these different things that we can do. And the thing that I came to was we know these sayings, right? Everything for a reason. And if you can't hear, you must feel. Most definitely. So I spoke about the whispers and the shouts. So I said the slap, because actually, when we don't hear the whispers, and they can come in lots of different ways, override with coffee and willpower. I remember the days of getting up to drink Red Bull so that I could get on and be this superwoman throughout the day, right? And kind of, again, that's somebody else's priority. Who am I proving myself to? And when we think about our identity, how are we perceiving ourselves within this? And then the shouts, the burnout, the illness, any health scare that we might have. Obviously, a health scare is different to a diagnosis. But then I think by listening, in particular, listening to Alex, we can have health scares within a diagnosis. Because we have a diagnosis actually is the reason why we can be more attentive to our health, becoming vegan, doing certain things to take care of ourselves. And then what do we risk if we don't listen to that? Some of you may have seen, I've seen on social media, there's a post that says something like, I'm taking a day off because I feel well. And the way that we are in this society is that we take time off when we don't feel well. Actually, we should be taking time off because we feel well, so that we can actually enjoy that time. When we're not well, for whatever reason, when we're in the waiting room, and I know that Winsome has spoken quite a bit about this, about the things that happen in the waiting room, quite devastating things sometimes. But we start to think about our priorities. And certainly somebody else's clock is not a priority when we're faced with our own ticking time bomb. That our body was talking all along, and some of us may know, and in my bio, it talks about the London ACEs Hub, which is adverse childhood experiences, the body keeping score, the way that our previous experiences can influence how we are today. Nobody else can do this for you. That was definitely said. We have to do, Alex, you spoke into this. We have to be the ones to make the choice, to make the decisions. Shana, you spoke about it's our mindset. So did you, Winsome. PMA. And actually, there's always blessings. I talk about the blessing in the lesson. It's not my term. I love it though, and I wish it was my term. I hijack it. That there's always a blessing in the lesson. And that there's revelations within diagnosis or health scares that give us permission almost to live differently and to be more grateful and appreciate. And I was talking yesterday with my partner about how those feeling a little bit sorry for ourselves sometimes and being grateful are allowed to coexist. It's not about positive mental attitude, isn't about ignoring the reality, because all we're doing is creating new stagnancy, okay, by pretending and overriding. We have to sometimes stop and acknowledge that we are feeling how we're feeling and be really honest and real about that. That health is more than not being ill. And it's all of the things, physical, emotional, mental, and having purpose in life, and knowing that, our health, whatever that looks like, is for us and why we are here, and that we're here with gifts in our hands. I talk about working with what's in our hands, and turning that around, creating the book that helps other people, creating the CIC that helps other people, creating spaces, even like tonight, this is a book launch, that help other people. And I didn't know this was going to be a gift tonight. I thought, if I'm honest, I'm helping Winsome out on her book launch, and I'm here going, oh, bring more. Taking time for self, and this is a book 24, Chronicles, is a journal. I've had quite a role in it, being in the focus group and helping with some of the proofreading and a little bit of the editing, if you like, to an extent. And it's really centered on that kind of taking time for self and grounding and centering self within situations that are challenging. So taking time for self isn't a reward, it's a necessity. And we have to always remember that the body's keeping score. We can't pour from an empty vessel. We have to schedule our rest first. Now, it's interesting to me that when, I think about putting ourself in the diary, it's like paying ourselves first, right? Obviously not with money, but with our own gifts. This is where ditching the clock feels like doing the opposite. Because if we're ditching the clock, why do we even have a diary? But we almost have to relearn the way that we do things, because we are raised and nurtured to live by this clock. And when we start saying that I don't have an hour, we can start with the minutes. I talk a lot about using our pockets of time. And those pockets of time, I've found, can be all sizes. They can be tiny, they can be really big and roomy, but they all matter. So we can look back and we can use our journal to notice our patterns. And sometimes when we're busy, we're kind of papering over the cracks. We can't see what is draining us, what restores us, what enriches us, what enhances us. I will often say I haven't had time to do my journaling, but I know that I need to make the time to do my journaling and to do my gratitude and to think and to operate that way. It's important. Writing enables us to look in on ourselves and to catch ourselves, catching ourselves is part of an acronym that I have, which is growing free from shackles. If we're blessed with the time to really look back and spend a bit of time looking at what is holding us back, our own shackles. The C in the shackles acronym is catch yourself. It centers us in the picture, but also allows us to look in on ourselves as well. And I think that was something that was said about, oh, Winsome, you said it, entrepreneurship. You are in the picture. You're not always looking in on the picture. I'm really almost finished. Our intentions become our reality checker, our promise to our future self. So we can do all of these things. We can look for the blessings. We can start from our wisdom and leverage our wisdom. We don't have to become anyone else. We just have to be who we are because we're here for a reason. Move with our own values and deserve and being deserving for ourselves and designing our days around our priorities, not the clock that belongs to other people. So my final word is don't wait for the shout. Listen to the whisper, take back your time, write it down and let gratitude, not the clock, set the pace of your life. That's it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't know if I'm back with you or not. Where am I? Has that stopped sharing?
Yes.
Yeah, brilliant.
Sorry, I was in the middle of like messages and I was like,
Okay.
Just one sec, Joanna. So, Alex, someone's asking you to repost your link in the chat. If you can check your messages, please. Oh, Joe, this is my big sister. My sister from another mister. And oh, we've been oh man.
I knew you were going to break down and start crying, but it's good. It's cathartic. Let it all out. It's good to show our emotions and to be real, whether you're laughing or crying, because they look the same anyway.
Oh my. Sorry.
It's okay.
Joanna, when you saw that, you're so person-centered. Thank you, Dr. Joan. When you Winsome, okay. When you put that presentation up, I was kind of making myself a bit busy because I was like, oh, here we go. Because the first slide, I knew I have got tissues. So I did prepare people. I did prepare. The first slide, I knew. And like, oh, sis, you have held me down in ways that only a sister could, in ways that there would never be enough words, enough books, enough anything. When I was in that bed and this nurse assistant tried to get right with me, they called 4 security guards on me, people. 4. Got a bionic leg. What, got a bionic leg. 4 security guards out of nowhere came for me, because enough was enough. People were taking liberties. This nurse assistant come in there and she said, bed 24, she don't need no help washing. She don't need no help washing. And I was like, excuse me? And that was the time that it just became too much. Too much. You flew in that day, Joanna.
100%.
And you came to see me, and they were sitting down with the nurse in charge, and they were advocating for me. Right. Girl!
But that was aligned, Winsome, right? That was time. That was right. It was aligned. That was supposed to happen that way. Because, yeah, I was able to come. Not just me. It wasn't just me, but, we were able to deal with what needs to be dealt with.
Carl, Shyla, Loretta, look, those were my school friends. Like, there came a point where it was the boiling point. And I really, as I'm a person in recovery. I used to smoke weed. And for 10 years, I've stopped. And I think it's the 26th of July, I'll be 10 years not had a spliff, a ganja spliff in none of my life. And part of my recovery really is to look at what my part is in it. You know what I'm saying? To look at what my part is in it. And it just got to a point where I just felt a lot of anger and upset towards this woman who knew nothing about me. And Joanna was there. Joanna was there. And I think, and I encourage anyone on their recovery journey to always make sure that you advocate for yourself and you become assertive, because otherwise, like, you might not get out of there, and that's facts.
You have
So
to.
thank you. I love you.
Mm.
Oh, Joanna's the proofreader. I don't think she actually said these words. Joanna is the proofreader on this book, by the way. And that was fun, but I don't think we've got time to go into
You ain't got time
that.
for
No. Next.
Yeah,
I've got
literally
time
next.
for that. Put your socials in the chat. Thanks for making me cry. So I need waterproof mascara, people. Oh my God. You see, I'll makeup up.
Okay.
Over to you, Shana. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, thank you for that, Joanna. We much appreciate it. And now I understand about ditching the clock. I had a kind of an idea, but thank you for explaining it thoroughly. Much appreciated. So next, we're going to have a book reading. Winsome, are you ready to give us a book reading? Are we going to hear more?
I'm ready like Freddie.
Are we going to hear more about the shopping list, curry goat and oxtail, and what culinary delights are you going to bring us today? Mouth-watering.
Joanna brought me turmeric shots and ginger shots, and these things are expensive. I think, Moju. They're expensive. And luckily, I think she got it on offer. Her and Giles brought it down for me, her partner.
No, we
And
don't want to hear about
she
the shots, mate. We
got
want
it
to
on
hear
offer.
the rice
No,
and
because
peas, the rice and peas.
we have to say this, because when Winsome said earlier on ginger shots was on my list, I was thinking to myself, I need to stress ginger shots was not on the list. A very specific brand and a very specific everything was on the list.
I
was like, oh my gosh, I need to get
I
this.
can
I can't just
imagine,
go and buy.
bougie, a bit bougie, yeah.
Right, exactly, yeah, Queen Winsome. So I was like, right, I need to get the very specific one.
So over to you with your book reading, my lovely. Thank you very much.
All right.
And can I just stress a little that the time is well spent. I know it's your evening, but I'm just saying time is well spent. That's all.
So I'm going to take 5 minutes.
Okay.
And we'll do question and answer for 5 minutes so
That's
that we can fit in. I'm going to put you on mute. Who is that? Chatty Patty? All right, people, let me get straight into it. So, I'm going to do a little reading from the book. See what I have to do with. Yes, I did have Conso and Oxtail in my life and Rajagate. What? He wants to say something. What? Anyway, Bed 24 Chronicles, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to read a little bit of the introduction here. And yes. You have a maze of questions right now lying in your hospital bed. Or maybe you are at home on the slow road of recovery as you desperately try to understand the best ways to navigate your health journey. Some days you feel buoyant, the days you feel utterly depressed. Would be whirling round your, whirling through your mind are thoughts like, how did I get here? Why me? Why now? Am I going to make it? How can I survive this? What will I do for money? Will I recover? I forgot to say I'm actually self-employed, by the way, people. Just so you know. I know because I can relate and identify with the uncomfortable feelings. The doctors speaking alienish, nurses prodding and poking, and nurse assistants asking, "Can I check your temperature?" Maybe you're being used like a pincushion because of problems finding your veins. Then you hear, drink more water, stay hydrated, eat your food to keep your strength up. In my case, it was eat more fruit to aid weight loss. This will help you walk better. All right, I'm going to leave it there for that section. This is going to be ironic. Let the tears fall. This was a very late entry in, and I must give a shout out to Letitia Oscar Jackman, who is on the call. I'm very honored. She's my dear, dear friend now, but we do work together. She is one of our senior editors, and bless her heart, she was one of the first people to read this, and she has been very helpful. So, kisses. Don't make me cry though. Let the tears fall. Have you ever heard the saying, you'll feel better after a good cry? For many people, there's truth in these words. Tears can be a gentle release for the soul. Crying may ease emotional tension and can make you fit and can leave you feeling lighter, calmer, and better able to face what lies ahead. If you feel the tears coming, do not be afraid of them. Instead, give yourself permission to cry with purpose. Let each tear carry away a little of the fear, frustration, sadness, or worry that you've been holding on to inside. This is not a sign of weakness. It is it is a reminder that you are human and that your heart is making space to heal. When the tears stop, take slow breaths, gently wipe your cheeks, blow your nose, and drink a glass of water. Be kind to yourself. Rest if you need to. Healing is not only about recovering physically, it is also about caring for your emotional well-being. And I've got 1 minute and 20 seconds left. So the last thing that I'm going to read to you is quite important. It's the emergency well-being checklist. And this is just vital things that you need to think about if ever you should be or find yourself in a hospital bed. So it's just, and I wanted to make a lot of these images Afrocentric because obviously they represent me. Stay calm. And I'm reading half of this, so you're not the whole thing. You have to get the book to read the whole of the something. And shout outs to my school friends. I can see them. Jennifer, big up. Misha, big up. You lot came and saw me about 3 times. Didn't it? Stay calm and centered. Day ones. Pray and ask God for guidance. Quickly become attentive listener. Now that one is crucial because I'm telling you, when these people come in and telling you Miss Duncan, you just got to think, oh God, here we go. It's gonna happen now. Miss Duncan, what? What do you want to say? So really get with it as much as you can, even if you are in pain, and just know what's going on. Take deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth. Nominate a spokesperson on your behalf. Mine was my dear cousin Lorraine, who was an OG. Sit with the fear and then acknowledge it. No, close your eyes for a short meditation. I did that a lot just to block out, and I put music on as well. Music really saved me. And think about rescheduling your day. You are in the hospital and you can schedule your day. You can say when you want to wash, when you not want to wash, when you're gonna get up. You can do things like that. So I've just read half and I'm going to just pause and leave it there. I think possibly what we can do because of time as well, Shana, is leave the question and answers for right at the end. So anyone that has to pop off can go at 9. And we shall proceed on. Mwah, 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 mwah. Kisses.
Okay, thank
Kisses.
you for that. Thank you very much for that. Okay, so I am going to introduce the young lady that did the foreword for the book. And I'm going to start by saying this. Dr. Joan Myers, OBE, can't read my own, QN, is an award-winning strategic nurse leader, consultant and educator with over 40 years experience in community children's nursing. She mentors and coaches healthcare professionals through her consultancy, with 98% of her mentees achieving promotion. Joan is a trustee and fellow of the QNI and was awarded an OBE in 2013 for services to children and nursing. She also holds an honorary doctorate from the Middlesex University, internationally recognized for her medical missions in Kenya, Uganda, and Ghana. Joan's charity supports vulnerable children and families through education, health, and faith initiatives. Over to you, Dr. Joan Myers, OBE. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. It is absolutely my joy to be on this phenomenal book launch for the amazing Winston Duncan. Just put out some emojis for Winston. She is absolutely phenomenal, amazing, and superb. It's been my great joy and pleasure working with her for the last 2 or 3 years. I think it is maybe 3 years. And this is the best book launch I've ever been on. I mean, her book is called Bed 24 Chronicles, but we've been in the hospital beds of various other people that have been through challenges in their lives. I mean, wow, absolutely wow. I mean, to hear the testimony of Shauna, there's some little thing like a head when you're talking about the brain surgeons and opening up the head and doing, oh my gosh, 6 surgeries on their. I read the book, by the way, and I would recommend that you get the book, especially for the juicy bit about a born again, washed in the blood of Jesus, Holy Ghost filled, water baptized, Jesus on their mind Christian, being chatted up to by a man that is not of God, and what happened there and how her faith dealt with that. I think if there's any single women on the line, you need to listen to that. Read the book, get the book. I ain't going to tell you what happened. It was a brilliant, really, I read it in 2 days. It was an excellent book. And also being a nurse and reading about her experience in the hospital as well. And then to hear Alex talking about as a young person, a young man, one day being perfectly healthy, fit, and strong, and the next day not even being able to get up to go to the toilet. And then for 6 months, and then how he overrode that mind over matter to just get up and be a personal trainer. By the way, I need that vegan cookbook. Did you say it had 32? Is it 32 recipes in it or 30 recipes in it? Well, if it has, I need to get that book so that I can try out one of those recipes every single day for 30 days so that my body could be slinky and malinky and my belly would be flat. Maybe it would be flat. I don't know. But I'm going to take the challenge. I'm going to start it in August. So I need to get a copy of his book. So everybody else, get a copy of his book as well. And I mean, I could go through everybody, but I've only got a short time, and Winston is watching me, and she knows I could talk forever like her. We can talk forever. But Winston, oh Joanna, to talking about ditching the clock and listening to your body, because our health is our wealth, and self-care is not selfish, it's survival. And now we need to really get in tune with our bodies and hear who we are and feel who we are and know who we are, that we're here on this earth for a purpose, for a season, only a reason, not for life. But while we have life, we need to be able to fulfill all the things that we've got in our lives to do. And the only way to do that is to look after the temple that God has given us and to to know that we've got ministers on the line. And for me, Winston is a phenomenal exhorter. She can exhort, she could encourage, she could empower, she could challenge by just the things that she says. And she came out of the hospital situation to get an award. You never mentioned about that, did you? I couldn't believe it. She come out of hospital and a couple of months later, or was it weeks later, she's getting this big woman of the whatever award. I don't even know what the award was called, but it was some phenomenal award. And then they just gave her the mic for 2 seconds, like what they do to me. Give it to me for 2 seconds, and then 5 minutes later, she's there preaching. The people are standing up, and it was a secular event, wasn't it? It wasn't a Christian event. Was it a Christian event? No, it was a secular event, and people were getting up saying amen. She was there preaching in that place just a few weeks, I think, after she came out of hospital. Now, I'm a nurse, right? I trained as an adult nurse and I specialized as a pediatric nurse. But when I went to see Winston in hospital, and I saw that frame, external frame that she had on her leg. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I've seen them in children, but not like that. She had it right from her hip, putting from your hip right down to your ankle with all these metal rods screwed into. They had to drill holes into her flesh and in their bone. And then the way they were looking after it wasn't. It's got infected several times. She was on different lots of antibiotics. The people were stressing her out. She was phoning, crying down the phone. I wanted to go down there and just bust down some people and say, remember, you're supposed to be the caring profession, care for the patient that's feeling vulnerable. But you know what made her feel good? You heard her talk a lot about food. Well, I brought in some oxtail and rice and peas and butter beans. She waxed it half one time. If I remember rightly, I think you ate half. She was very good. She ate half and she said, I'm going to save the next half for tomorrow. But I don't think she did. You didn't, did you? Because by the time I finished the visit, I think it was gone. And that's a really important thing to know that when people are in hospital or people are not well, don't sometimes we go, what can I do? Let me know if you want something. Most people don't know what they want when they're not well. So if you know the person, you know she liked food, just bring in the food. But I knew that she liked oxtail and rice and peas and curry and all them things. That was to help her to recuperate because she was looking after the body, weren't you? You have to look after the body to help the body to get fit and to get well again. So she did that. She was amazing while she was in hospital. It was very challenging for 3 months and 17 days. I know that I was in hospital for 12 days, and 12 days was bad enough. It feels like a lifeline. And if you haven't got people that love you and care for you, to support you, to advocate for you, it can be very, very scary because no matter how assertive and how strong and how passionate you are and confident in who you are and what you know and what you want, when you're in hospital, you suddenly become another person. You become really, really vulnerable. And it's really challenging to have to advocate for yourself and living in fear that they're not going to do what you tell them to do or what you ask them to do. Like when Shauna said, she knows she's not supposed to have lumbar punctures. They're supposed to know that. It's supposed to be written in the notes. They're supposed to know that. If supposing she wasn't well enough to tell them that, the fear that you live with. And I love the fact that Alex said he not only works with people with MS, multiple sclerosis, he says sickle cell, people with sickle cell disease, they suffer a lot because people don't listen to them, don't hear them, don't respond to them in the right sort of way. So it's really, this has been amazing book launch, and I'd recommend that everybody gets the book. Even if you're not sick and you don't want to be sick and you're never going to be sick, we cannot guarantee that's not going to happen. You need to get not one copy, but at least 2 copies of the book so that you can keep one and you can give one. Keep one, give one. So keep one, give one, get one and get another one, and then get another one again. Now they say buy one, get two free. Buy all 3 of them. Buy 3 and give them all out. We want that book to get to number 1. And the way for it to get to number 1, it could get to number 1 tonight, is by everybody going online now, even if you've got a paper copy, which I don't think you have, because I haven't even got my paper copy yet, even though I saw some people, Shauna was showing off. Was it Shauna I saw showing off with her paper copy? Well, I ain't got a paper copy yet, right? I've ordered it, it's arriving tomorrow morning. But what you all can do is just go online and click and get the Kindle version. You've got a Kindle version. Have you got a Kindle version? I assume that you got a Kindle
Yes,
version.
share me, pan me, Lord.
She got if you got a Kindle,
Soon.
huh?
Kindle coming soon. I'm not Superwoman, like we're
Okay,
trying to.
okay then. So when it
Coming
comes out,
soon.
just order the copy. It's not that
But
expensive. It will help you.
there's hardback, and there's paperback.
Excuse
It's
me, I'm
like,
talking. Could you come up so
sorry,
that I could
sorry.
finish talking? Else you're going to
Yeah,
kick me off
Pastor
in a
Bill.
minute. I haven't finished. Anyway, she hasn't got the Kindle version out yet. Sorry, she hasn't got the Kindle version out yet, but she will get the Kindle version out. But in the meantime, get the Southback version. It's not that expensive. It's at a reduced, discounted price just for a few days or just for this week. And I want to give it up for Letitia, who proofread my book. When I was unwell, nearly dropping dead, as soon as I got well, Winston was on the phone to me. I wasn't even in the country, and she's doing Zoom meeting with me in Africa, in Ghana, without even the power. And I'm saying to my husband, we need to put the generator on because the generator can't get the electricity can't go because I need to have this Zoom meeting with Winston. She was whipping me. You need to get the book out. And because I had a near-death experience, I had to speed up the whole process so that at least I'll still be alive. Or even if I wasn't alive, the book would be alive at the end. And the great thing about it, she got that book out in time. I had Letitia as my proofreader, and it was absolutely phenomenal because it came out on World Book Day on March the 6th, 2025. And I just happened to be speaking at a women's retreat. New Testament Church for God had the International Women's Retreat. They asked me to speak from the year before, and the topic that they wanted me to talk on just happened to be a chapter in the book. So when I bought as much copies as I can with me to the event, I spoke on International Women's Day at the New Testament Church of God conference, and the book sold out because I had 90 copies. People were practically fighting for a copy. There was over 280 women there. I said, forget it. Just go on Amazon and just click on Amazon and get it. And it went to number 3 in Amazon's best-selling Christian books in less than a week. And since then, I've been selling the book, selling it because Winston said to me, get a little book bag and everywhere you go, take your book. I take my book everywhere. And anytime anybody asks me to speak, I go, can I bring my books? Can I sell my books? And they all say yes. And I just sell, sell, sell. I've sold the most books ever. And guess what? I've got my second book about to come out. But in autumn, it's being proofread as we speak. It'll be out in the autumn because I've been inspired by Winston Duncan, who is an amazing publisher. She really keeps me on my toes. I won't even tell you what she does to get me to do the writing. She really, really treats me bad. And I know I'm not very good. I'm not very disciplined. So she's very good. You know, we all need accountability partners. She made me come to London Bridge. If you know her really well and you've done books with her, she goes to London Bridge Hotel and she sits you down. She took my mobile phone away from me. Could you imagine how that felt? I wasn't able to take any messages, get any messages, respond to any phone calls, sit in the corner and write the contents page. Now do the acknowledgement page. Now do the dedication page. Now do the authors page. Now do chapter 1. She just had me doing it until I had the book done. I got it done. She's the kind of person that you need. I mean, she's been through so much, and for what she's been through, I knew her at the height of her career when she was on TV selling. And that's another thing. She's donated those children books to my charity in Kenya. So her book is already global. It's in Africa. It's gone to Kenya and it's also gone to Ghana, the children's book. And I'm going to stop there because I could go on forever. But I'm going to say this because I say it everywhere I go. You've heard it before. You're going to hear it again. And everybody open your ears. I'm speaking to all of you, but I'm speaking especially to Winsome. And you might think, why is she on OBE? The children in Kenya said, Auntie Joe, what is an OBE? And I said, OBE means overflowing blessings every day. So I bestowed it upon each and every single one of you. But before I stop, I would just say that you are one of a kind, right from God's mind. You are a divine design. There's no one else like you on the face of this earth. You're not just 1 in a million, you're 1 in 8 billion. And if you were not here, the world would not be the same without you. You're here for a reason, just for a season, not for life. But while you have life, make sure you leave a legacy for life. And the way to do that is to write a book. Write the book. Another way to leave a legacy is to get the book and give it to somebody else to read. And now my book is called Inspiring Hope and Wisdom. And just to end on this, I had a friend whose friend was given a prognosis, a diagnosis, a terminal diagnosis of 6 months to live. She asked me, Joan, could you come up to Liverpool and lay hands on my friend and pray for my friend? I goes, yeah, okay. So I went up to Liverpool. Her friend was just I think she's a Catholic, just a nominal Christian. She wasn't like a Pentecostal, fiery, blood of Jesus kind of Christian. And she goes, do I need to lie prostrate on the floor? I goes, no. I said, I could just hold your hand and pray with you if you don't mind me holding your hand. And I said, I've got some anointing oil. I'm just going to anoint your forehead in the sign of a cross, and I'm going to just pray. I said, do you believe that Jesus can heal you? She said, yes. I said, that's all that matters. And I prayed that Jesus would heal her. She had 6 months to live. That was in January. In May, they said she was having palliative care. They said she's going to die. She's got stage 4 colon cancer with secondaries in the liver and the lungs and the kidneys and all that kind of stuff going on. I just laid hands on her. I believe that Jesus can heal and deliver and set free. 5 months later, in May, she was having palliative chemotherapy because they said that would keep her strong so that she'd get to the point where she could past her PhD. She was just finishing her PhD. 5 months later, in May, when they did a scan, 2 of the tumours had disappeared completely and the other 2 had shrunk down so small. She was reading my book, a chapter of my book, every time she went for chemotherapy. And the first chapter, she said, she wrote to me. She said, Joan, guess what? When I open your book, there's a light, a beam of light shining through the middle of the book while I'm reading it. She got to the second chapter. She said, this book is for me. Guess what it says? And it says, day two. I just have little quotes on some of the pages. Day two said, hope brings healing, harmony, and happiness. She said, that spoke to my heart. That's God speaking directly to me. Now she's healed. I just saw her last week. I was up in Liverpool last week. She's healed. She's fit. When she went to the doctors, they said, we have to keep the prognosis as stage 4 colon cancer because that's the diagnosis that you had. But we've not met anybody like you. She's got long blonde hair down to her waist. Her hair didn't drop out. She didn't have any sicknesses. No, like they have vomiting and diarrhea and all that. She had nothing. She'd been eating. If anything, she put on weight. So guess what they're doing? They're doing another 6 rounds of chemo to see whether they could shrink down and disappear those other 2 tumors that are there. She's fit and healthy and strong. That's the power of the blood of Jesus. That's the power of the God that we serve. That the God that we serve is a miracle working God. He's able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we could even ask or think or dream or imagine, according to his power that works in us. I'm not going to take up any more time, but if you don't believe in Jesus, put your trust in him and he will work it out for you. Just as he did for Winston, he will do it for you too, because she's got purpose in this life and she's impacting and affecting so many people. God bless you all. Thank you.
Give it up, give it up, give it up, Dr. John Myers. Wow, the hearts are flinging about the place. Ooh, oh boy. What a pleasure it is to have you on my walk. You always just light up my phone. I always love picking up the phone to you. I always know I'm gonna hear with your cheery voice. And thank you for, bigging me up. And thank you for being my friend. I much, much appreciate everything that you have done in my life. Please put your details in the chat and network with everybody because we are coming to the end. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Bed 24 Chronicles, but I do have one more guest in the wings. He's got 5 minutes that we're going to share. I will stay on for 10-minute question and answer, but I understand if it's 9 o'clock and you need to go. I understand that too. Thank you so much for coming. Much love. Now, our final guest this evening is Reverend Ivan Ibuno. And he has been an assistant curate at St. Philip's Avondale Square since June 2023. Married with 4 adult children, he previously served as a healthcare chaplain at Guy's and St. Thomas's NHS Foundation Trust. He is passionate about bringing God's hope and comfort to those facing illness, recovery, and caring responsibilities. I think for me, when I was told by Mother Helen that he was going to come and visit, I was relieved because I didn't actually know that they had these sorts of services in hospital where like you could get different faiths and religions come and be with you and to pray and to comfort you. I had no idea whatsoever. So I really am grateful because I met some powerhouses. So he's just going to come in and introduce himself, and then he's going to close this section of the launch for us. Come on in.
Good
Thank
evening,
you for being
everyone.
so patient.
Thank you, Winsome. Um, I just want to take a moment. I came because I was asked to be here at this book launch, and it has been such a special day. More so hearing Shana speak, Alex speak, Joanna speak, everybody that has spoken has just made this evening what wow. And I'm so glad and I just want to say thank you and thank you to everybody who's been here. It is beautiful to support one another when we go through the journey of life. And there's no need to like soften the truth. Illness can interrupt life suddenly. It can affect the body, the mind, the family, relationships, and confidence and hope. Shana, when you were speaking, when you were talking about shunts, I have 4 children. Our eldest, who is 29, lives with a shunt and a lumbar puncture because his shunt stopped working at some point and they had to do a lumbar puncture. He's in supported living right now. And I think my son's journey or diagnosis brought me back to faith. Up until that time, I was an IT consultant flying around the world thinking there was no tomorrow because there was money to be spent and bonds and just living life like, no worries. But his diagnosis brought me back to it. And I remember when I first heard about it and I said to my wife, who's still here, thank God, we were young. And I said, if this is going to derail your plans for life, because up until that time, we didn't know anything about his diagnosis, which is Dandy Walker, and with hydrocephalus in and water in his brain. And I said to her, because first, when we had my son, I think it must have been the most happiest times of my life. I grew up back in Nigeria, went to university there. Life in uni was wild. I was notorious. I was fighting always. I did things, and so I initially first thought, this is my punishments. And you know what? If you want to move on, I am so happy. I will be so happy to take care of this young boy, and I will not stop you. I mean, stories I heard before then was supposed to be the other way around. But I felt, challenged to say, I will not live this young man's life for as long as God is here on earth. And his story has been just one that has encouraged me. I started wanting to know God some more, and that led me to be a lay reader within the Church of England. And from then, I did some chaplaincy certificates and started working as a chaplain within Guys and St. Thomas's. And I must say, in the 7 years I did that, I can honestly say that is where I not only found God's grace, it's not only where when people talk about suffering, challenges, and life-changing occurrences happening, you go into the hospitals and that's where you see the power of God. And that is where you get inspired because you meet people like Shana, you meet people like Winsome, you meet people like, Alex, Sue. You go to their bedside, you sit with them, and all you can do is just sit there. And then you get messages and their stories when they talk to you. You just sit there and you feel, I'm out there. I think I'm 100%, I'm healthy, life is good. And this is somebody on a sick bed, on a journey, and they will change your life with their stories, with the hope they carry, with the love of God that they see and know that their journey and their story hasn't ended. They take one day at a time. Yes, not every day. Sometimes you meet the same people, they're down, but once they see that you're the person who comes and you listen and you just stay there, sometimes you don't even speak. I remember visiting Winsome in hospital, but I didn't go there with answers. And every time I went to bedside in my career as a chaplain I was living with pain. I have 4 children. 2 of them live with special needs. I have another daughter who's 24, who is very challenged as well. But I daily live life feeling so blessed because they have given me a reason to live, a reason to look at people and accept people for who they are and sit with their stories and listen with them and just be accepting, and I think every day that I step out of this house that I live in, when I encounter people, I encounter the grace of God because I see people with different stories. I do not have a product to sell or anything or any books written. All I have is God's goodness that I feel and I hold dear to, and it's all I share with people on a daily basis. Because when we remember not only the person who's ill, we also remember their family members, those who stand by them. And so I just want to say thank you that everybody who's come on here, you're standing by Winsome, you're standing by. You've heard stories that I think and I feel and believe would not only inspire us, but will change us for good. And I do not think there's anybody who's come here this evening who will leave here the same, having heard the stories that we've heard here today that have been shared. And so I thank you for sharing your stories. And I just feel, so blessed to have been here to listen and to learn from the strength, the courage not to give up, not to listen because God has the final say. Yes, we train, physicians are trained, they know what they do most of the time, but not until God says. That is the account we listen to. Whose account would you listen to? You listen to God. When we believe, and I always say to people, there's nothing impossible with God. I don't want to go on. I know we've fast spent the time, so let us pray. If you are religious or not, one of the things I want to encourage everybody to live here with is hold on to love, hold on to hope, and hold on to humanity. There is a lot of good in us, and all we need to do is to just hold on and embrace ourselves every time. So let us pray. God of love, goodness, and compassion, we thank you for Winsome. We thank you for Alex. We thank you for Joanne. I thank you for everybody here present. Bless all who are ill and who are recovering, and all who care for them. Strengthen those who are tired. Comfort those who are afraid. Encourage those who feel forgotten. Bring healing where healing is possible. Peace where answers are uncertain. And loving compassion for every journey. Help us to be people who notice, who listen, who visit, who encourage, and who love. And may the blessing of God, the giver of life, hope, and peace rest upon each and every one of us. And may we be given strength for each day, courage for every challenge, and the assurance that we do not walk alone. Amen. Thank you.
Oh man, I was trying to hold back the tears when you spoke because this is why I'm doing this. For that very reason. Because you can look at a man's face, Reverend, but you don't know what's going on in
No,
his heart.
so
And the
true.
commonality that has brought us together
Mm.
is pain. And I just know that. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, everyone. And yeah,
Please put the
I think,
website
yeah, I've put my the website of
for,
there.
yes,
But I
please.
think you should do this again. And please invite me when you do this, and invite these wonderful, beautiful people. So let's share our stories. Let's live this journey, supporting one another and in everything we do. May we
Well,
find
they're
God.
asking for audio books and all sorts. But I think what I will do now that it's dropped into my spirit is actually, this has just come to me, but some sort of conference. Maybe there's half a day, 4 hours, and um, make the times a little bit longer as well. Yeah, I think I'll do something like that because I really think that it's needed. And there's bed 25. I'm not going to identify the person because that's their business. But bed 25 is here. He spent some time with me on my hospital bed. So yeah, about 3 days. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let Shana wrap up her section and close because I know you go to bed early, honey. So don't worry if you want to pop off, that's fine. And then I'm going to open up the floor for question and answers for 10 minutes. I'm putting a timer on. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you. Conference, definitely. Thank you. For 10 minutes. And if anybody on the panel or anyone that's still here that you want to ask questions, then feel free. It's been an absolute pleasure. So you can start your close, Shana.
Are you on mute?
You are on mute.
You're muted.
Oh, right. I've had 6 brain operations, right? So bear with me. I just want to say thank you to everybody that has stayed past 9 o'clock. I really do appreciate it. It has been a wonderful, wonderful evening. It has surpassed my expectations. And I had high expectations. I just think I'll put that bit in there. And it has been a wonderful evening. Thank you all very much for coming and staying this far. If there is, as Winston has said, anyone that has to leave now, then please do so. Do so quietly. And but thank you for staying this far, and thank you to Winston and to all the speakers tonight. You have been exceptional. Thank you very much. And for those that are staying for 10 minutes, it would be great. But yeah, so thank you very much. And yeah, I do hope that you got a lot from tonight because it was for me. Uh, I'm not a baby, but there were some triggering moments tonight for me, and I hid it behind the glasses. The tears, I hid it behind the glasses, and I'm glad that I could do that. But there were really some moments tonight, and Winsome,
You and me both.
thank you for having me on board. I do appreciate you. From the minute I met you, and these past few weeks, we've shared some moments, haven't we? These past few weeks have been some moments. So thank you. So for those that you are leaving at this
Yeah.
time, thank
That's
you
the way,
again.
isn't it? Yeah. No,
Yeah,
you're
it's
welcome.
it's been a wonderful evening. So I think as I say goodbye to you and Winsome, I think it's now over to you with the
Yes.
questions and how you know how we roll this out. That we're gonna do some questions
Course.
and answers.
Okay. All right.
Here
So,
we go.
blessings, blessings. Share the news. That's what I want to ask you all. Share the news far and wide. Um, take it high and low to the four corners of the earth. And, I think Reverend Iron mentioned not everyone is religious or has different ways of, connecting with God, higher power. And that's fine too. But I thought it was just important to really stand in my truth and what I believe, not to convert, but just this is my lived experience. And I'm not ashamed of it at all. Do you understand what I'm saying? And if it can help somebody, then that is good as well. So I want to thank first of all my speakers. I love you all for putting up with me.
It was
Oh,
easy. It was
goodness
easy,
me.
darling. It was easy.
Yeah, well, I do. The amount of times I call my accountant who's online, Lisa Newton, big up. I've just seen you, big up Jean Brown. Thank you for coming in. The amount of times I call her at all times, I'm like, but yeah, you guys have just whatever comes out of this, know that you are a part of it, okay? That's what I want to say. So thank you very much to my speakers, Reverend Iron. Thank you, Dr. Joan Myers, OBE. Big things up in the building. To my speaker, Alex Deans, personal trainer, MS Warrior. To Joanna Oliver, aka Sage, thank you so much. Letitia Oscar Jackman for being a part of the book. Thank you. And with the co-host that I've had who's been absolutely amazing, Shana Dawn Lewis. Thank you. And hopefully that's everybody that's on the flyer. Pastor Lorna, who's gone, Ira Jackson, who's gone. Thank you so much. They had like prayer night at 8, and it was just so kind of them to come in, because I just feel that it was so important to be spiritually covered. Because I ain't doing nothing without God. Right, we're opening up for question and answers for who's here now. You can ask anybody a question. I'm going to put the timer on. So you can unmute your mics now. So you can either unmute your mic, say the name of the person who you want to direct the question to, and then direct it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Go straight into your question. So talk to us.
What happened? Everybody's shy now.
I think Charles is reaching for a button there. No? Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Mhm.
Can
Hello.
you hear me?
Hear
Yes.
you, but we can't see you. Who's that?
It's Sandra from Birmingham. I just want to say, number one, first, I had such a heavy day today, and just coming on board and hearing everybody's stories has been food for my soul. So glory be to God, the Most High. My question goes out to Winnie. That's what me Carlisle, right? My question to you is, how do you feel now that you've got to this part of the journey? I've seen and I've visited you and I've seen you go through stuff. You fought to get to this point. How do you feel right now?
Joanna Oliver, meet my other big sis from Birmingham. Oh wow. Hey Sam, apples, you all right? Oh, oh goodness. Um, I feel right now in this moment, I feel quite excited. I feel electric. I feel inspired. I feel the mantle is heavy. I feel like this is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life, because there is so much to this story. We just didn't have time, and but ultimately being a morbidly obese patient, I wasn't there was times, let me choose my words carefully. There were times where medical people didn't understand how to look after me. Let's just say that. And I just want to advocate for us, to be fair. He who knows it feels it, man. And I'm gonna try not to cry again, but it's healing for the soul. Because I couldn't believe it. I was labeled demanding. This is actually what I wanted to say in my the read through. I was labeled demanding, and I was labeled uh I asked too much. I complained a lot. And I changed that to assertive and being an advocate for my health, because only you can do that, right? Only you can do that. So I'm really, really glad to be here. I'm 50 pounds lighter. And I'm always calling Alex and bugging him, bless his little heart. You know, about everything. Be like, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And he's always there to offer support and love, and I greatly, appreciate him and what he's added to my life. It is a struggle. I know that there's more to do, apples. I know that there's more to do. And but I'm grateful. Yeah.
Super proud of you, sis. Super, super, super proud of you. Proud of you all and super proud of you. Glory be.
We've
Amen.
got Lorraine with the next question. If you unmute yourself, Lorraine.
Hi, Winsome. Congratulations. I'm sorry I joined late, so my questions will be generic, and I do apologize if the questions will already have been maybe discussed when I was not here. And I'm so sorry for your experiences at the hospital, but it's also, I think, inspiring to hear that you are grateful for the miracle of healing. I have two questions. One is a congratulatory message. Congratulations, you put a book, Chronicles out, but my question was around when should we expect the next one? That's the first one. When are you releasing the next book? The second question is around. I was thinking this morning about should I buy it? If I buy it, does it mean that I'm expecting to be sick? How would I use it? So because I've missed the launch, or I would I know people are putting a laughing emoji. Yeah, so I was struggling with it. So if I buy it, it's like as if I'm preparing that I will be sick, but I don't know. Yeah, so that's that. I've been struggling with that.
Whoops, you're on mute, Winston.
Winsome, yeah.
Apologies. Thank you. Thank you very much. Those are really two great questions. So the first one is this is the next book. So it's called Bed 24 Chronicles, Let the Healing Begin. I am going to book a hotel it's just past Croydon, like 20 minutes outside Croydon. I think it's Surrey, for 1 night or 2 nights. And I'm going to put all the ideas down and dictate all the notations. I'd like to say this year, but I'm saying 2027. It's not going to take me, now that my thoughts are in order and I'm more stabilized in my routine, it's not going to take me long because I've got more time to really just focus in. And I'm not going to make it a massive book, but I do have this story to tell. And then what's going to come after the memoir is Bed 24 Chronicles television series, because I tell you what, we had some hilarious moments. And again, I want to tell this story. I'm willing to tell this story. I actually understand what you mean, where you're coming from in terms of you saying you don't want to call things to existence. I don't think you buy the book for yourself. I think you actually should get 3 copies and you're buying it for gifts for people that you're going to give. And then every now you can just flick through it and see. And then you just, whenever they're in hospital, you give them a copy. And I think that will help to ease how you are feeling around that, because I do actually understand that principle.
Thank you.
Winsome.
But
Yes.
everybody could buy the book and give it to somebody else. There's
Can
always
I
somebody that somebody knows that's not well. So
can I say something?
yeah, sorry.
So I don't think the book is for only people who are in hospital. It's just like we don't pray to God only when we are sick or we want something. Nobody is wishing anybody to be ill, but sometimes you buy this book, you read what the book is talking about, you're sharing in somebody's pain, because nobody knows tomorrow. The information you get out of that book can help you say the right words when you go visit somebody who's ill. You don't have to be ill, because sometimes we don't know the right words to say to people, like words of comfort. But if you go and you get this book and you read the book, don't think it's about you being ill. No, you're reading. It's just like any other book you buy to read. You're getting information. You're arming yourself with words that might just help you inspire the next person. And if God, nobody, like I said, nobody knows tomorrow. If you do find yourself in a challenging situation, maybe what you've read from that book will help you before somebody comes to you, because you already have a mindset. And from the stories we've heard here today, those are things that you keep your mind alert. And so if you do fall into a place that is low, that mind will sharpen itself and come out, because it takes you first as a person to fight anything. So I don't think we should look at it that you buy the book and you get ill. Maybe I'm not coming across.
No,
that's.
May I interject there? I totally agree. A week ago, Winsome asked me to do a video to promote the book. And whilst I was speaking about it, I actually said, this book isn't just for the patient, it's for the patient's family as well.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about that patient. The patient's family can learn from the book as well, because they can aid them in doing whatever. It's a support for the support network. It's for anybody around, in and around that person, and for whatever it has a knock-on effect for any and everybody, for whatever time it might be. It's huge. This thing is huge. It's not just for the person lying in that bed. And it might not just be for a person lying in the bed. It could be for more. It's more than that. This is big. It's bigger than.
So I'll just sort of end on this. This is what I'm going to do, because obviously I can sense, people want to stop and share. I'm going to end on the response to this, and I'm going to stop recording, and I'm going to release the speakers and hosts who have been really gracious. But if any of you do want to come on camera once we've stopped recording and say hi, I'll still wait around. So wow. My target audience is primarily for people who are in long-term hospital stay. And Joanna and I spoke about this, and people that are on the recovery journey. And the reason why it's so specific is because I had to niche down. It's not just a recovery journal. And I didn't want it to be generic like that. No, it's for someone like me in a hospital bed for 2 weeks, 1 week, a year, whatever. Someone's been in hospital for a whole year, right? And it's funny because there was a guy that come in, he had bed bugs in his home, but I didn't even know that they did that. They also have homeless people come into the wards. Did you know that they did that? And that's what I'm saying. It's about sharing the information that Reverend Ivan has talked about, because, this is not even scraping the surface of what had gone down, or the amount of people that came out to see me. So the secondary audience would be, people that are on family and friends who want to buy and support book for their loved ones. And I've said in there that they can do it together. They can do it together. They can do it together. But then there was a woman, she broke both of her arms. So what was she going to do together? What could she do? Wiggle her fingers? No, her wrist. And it was, again, one step. And she was the largest kind of lady. It was one step, slipped. There was all kind of things. I saw people live. I saw people die. So it is a massive mantle. And any ideas that you've got, I will take on. I am the marketing team at the minute. But it will grow and expand. I definitely believe in that. And it will be organic. And I just think that that is so important. So with that, I'm going to pause and stop the recordings and the live streams. Mwah! And I'll just stick around for a little bit more for anyone else that wanted to say hi. Yeah, was it excellent? Is that because you're excellent?
Hey, guy. Sorry. Yes, that was really wonderful. Yeah.
You are inspired. I'm glad.